There is a paradox at the heart of modern archaeology. As our investigative technologies advance, we uncover more evidence that challenges the conventional narrative of human evolution. This is not mere speculation. These are documented archaeological anomalies, whose explanations remain incomplete within current historical paradigms. Human history today represents only a fragment of a reality that may be much richer and more complex. We might compare ourselves to spectators at a shadow play, seeing only faint projections of what truly happened in the millennia before us. For all its methodological advances, contemporary science still operates within historical models that are beginning to be questioned by increasingly intriguing evidence. A revealing example of this phenomenon emerged when archaeologists uncovered Göbekli Tepe, a sophisticated monumental site dating back to about 10,000 BC. This discovery challenged fundamental assumptions about the development of primitive human societies. Klaus Schmidt, the archaeologist responsible for the excavations, expressed his amazement. "We found sophisticated temples where we expected to see primitive huts. Our entire model of human development had to be rethought." This provocative perspective remains on the fringes of mainstream academic consensus. What these findings suggest is not necessarily a continuous upward line of progress, as is often assumed, but possibly cycles of advanced knowledge, decline, and rediscovery. Several civilizations may have reached remarkable levels of technical and spiritual sophistication, only to vanish under the sands of time or in the wake of catastrophic events, leaving behind only enigmatic fragments of their legacy. Faced with these indications, a natural question arises. Where are the concrete pieces of evidence of such extraordinary achievements? The answer might be closer than we imagine. Carved in stone, encoded in myths, preserved in ancient texts, and passed down through oral traditions. The challenge lies in our ability to interpret these traces beyond the conventional lenses of scientific materialism and the strictly linear view of cultural evolution. Massive pyramids, megalithic structures, colossal blocks fitted with precision, and medieval maps bearing mysterious details. Each element forms a historical puzzle we have yet to fully solve. Independent researchers and academics debate whether these are mere coincidences or signs of something far greater than our current theories explain. The fundamental question is not just whether this advanced knowledge truly existed, but why certain viewpoints gain more traction than others when forming our collective vision of history, which forces and interests shape our understanding of the past. And above all, how does that affect what we believe is possible in the present and the future? This investigative video invites us to explore several interconnected domains, universal laws that may govern both material and spiritual phenomena, religious symbols that transcend cultures, initiatory societies that allegedly protect and transmit ancestral knowledge, and finally, our essential nature as conscious beings. The aim is not to dismiss critical thinking, but to apply it more rigorously, questioning entrenched assumptions while also examining alternative hypotheses. In modern thought, the word occultism often evokes associations with sinister or superstitious practices. However, etymological analysis reveals another perspective. The term comes from the Latin occultus, meaning hidden or secret, referring to knowledge reserved for those who are prepared to receive it. Far from being something dark or irrational, this field of study historically constituted an integrated system of understanding the laws governing both physical phenomena and aspects of human consciousness. In the famous Library of Alexandria, before its destruction, there was no official separation between astronomy and astrology, chemistry and alchemy, physics and metaphysics. Researchers like Hypatia studied celestial mechanics alongside possible symbolic correspondences, operating under the principle that the cosmos displays patterns reflected on multiple levels of reality. This integrated perspective is summed up in the Hermetic maxim, as above, so below, as within, so without, the idea that the macrocosm and the microcosm are interconnected. Science historian Margaret Alec documented how this unity of knowledge gradually splintered. Political and institutional factors created artificial divisions, separating the study of the physical world from its conscious dimensions and leaving spiritual themes exclusively to religion or psychology. Isaac Newton, for instance, spent much of his time on alchemical studies and esoteric interpretations of scripture, yet he is primarily remembered as the founder of classical physics. While observing celestial bodies, ancient civilizations developed calendars and predicted eclipses, but they also drew metaphysical lessons about the cosmic order. Historian Giorgio de Santillana, in Hamlet's Mill, argues that seemingly fantastic myths encode sophisticated astronomical knowledge, such as the precession of the equinoxes, a cycle of about 25,920 years that requires generations of observation to understand. At the same time, some quantum physicists like Amit Goswami point to possible parallels between non-dual ancient philosophies and aspects of modern physics. Experiments such as the double-slit experiment suggest a profound relationship between consciousness and matter, an idea already present in spiritual traditions that claims the mind is crucial in shaping reality. Genuine occultism sought laws and principles that operate behind what is perceivable, much like science investigates invisible forces, such as gravity or electromagnetism. Various esoteric traditions developed methodologies to study fields and energies that affect consciousness. Astrology, in its original form, was not merely a fatalistic system of predictions, but a lens for understanding cyclical dynamics and their psychological and social effects. Alchemists, for the most part, were not just after physical gold. They often interpreted their laboratory processes as metaphors for internal transformations. Similarly, universal principles like polarity, correspondence, vibration, and rhythm appear in ancient texts and can be compared to modern discoveries in physics or biology. Scientific progress, which focuses on measurable, reproducible phenomena, has largely set aside subtler, more subjective dimensions, but is beginning to reconsider them as it encounters the limits of strict materialism. As Sir Arthur Eddington warned, the developments of modern physics suggest a fundamentally non-materialistic conception of reality. In this meeting ground between scientific frontiers and spiritual traditions, the call is not to reject rigorous methods, but rather to expand them to include systematic study of consciousness. The apparent conflict between science and spirituality arises from historical and cultural separation, not from any intrinsic incompatibility. Accounts from Newton, Johannes Kepler, Giordano Bruno, and others show that for them, it was natural to combine metaphysical insights with scientific inquiry. Today, reconciliation gains traction in leading laboratories in fields such as neurophenomenology, neurotheology, and meditation research. Thus, the question is not whether ancient traditions anticipated contemporary theories, but rather acknowledge that different modes of knowing can illuminate diverse facets of reality. True occultism always encouraged critical thinking and direct experience, which is a practice mirrored by those who study consciousness phenomena with scientific seriousness. If the mind is not just a byproduct of the brain, but an active element in reality, then investigating spirituality becomes a valid exploration of the world, not a regression into superstitious beliefs.